Okay, today we're going to be talking about how evolution is falsified by double helix energy travel and how deep time is falsified by work done by double helix energy flow. I'm going to start off with deep time because that is the easiest thing to destroy in an electric universe. Now, both deep time falsifies evolution, and evolution falsifies deep time due to double helix energy flow. So deep time falsified by double helix energy theory. Double helix energy theory is electricity and electromagnetism. The universe is electrical in nature. Energy attracts matter, matter covers energy, and energy moves matter. Power in equals work done. And this theory is proven by falsification of evolution, which is coming after. Now this is a generator and it supplies electricity. It is important to understand that a generator does not actually create electrical energy because electrical energy is a thing in its own and is separate from matter, and this is explaining it. Instead, it uses the mechanical energy supplied to it, which is forced by the explosion of gasoline, to force the movement of electric charges present in the wire of its windings through an external electric circuit. So already this is telling you that energy already exists and it's going to force the movement of an electric charge. So a generator pulls in energy and sends out energy. It doesn't create it, and it's basically proving that energy and matter are separate because we are moving energy through matter. So work done is the amount of energy put in and the amount of energy you get out. So here's a extremely simple example of what's happening to our electrical universe since its inception. Doesn't matter how many years ago, this is what is happening to the universe and can be seen. Work done. One generator runs at 500 watts per hour over 1 hour, produces 50,000 volts. Lower the input wattage. One generator runs at 50 watts per hour over 1 hour and produces 5,000 volts. Lower the input wattage. One generator runs at 5 watts per hour over 1 hour, produces 500 volts. So work done is less, meaning the universe started with a lot of energy, now it is lowering. This reason is because energy is becoming trapped in matter and it can't escape. Basically, everything is coming to dust and the energy is just floating around in space and cannot interact with anything. So many years ago when the power was higher, more work got done to atoms and everything else, geology, everything else. They beat faster and released more particles than they do now. That means it looks like things are older because more work has been done based on what we know today looking at atoms. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, everything beat faster. The sun has been known, its heartbeat is slowing down. So understand, I do know what I'm talking about, if things are slowing down. The sun is beating slower than it used to. And what does this mean? This means that time is affected, as more energy flow means more work done in a shorter time scale. Time is not affected by gravity, that's nonsense. Time is affected by energy. Easy example, 200 men can shift a ton of dirt in 10 seconds. One man can shift a ton of dirt in 30 minutes. How could you tell the difference if you didn't know how many men had moved the dirt? You wouldn't. And so if you base things on how energy is today, you'll get millions of billions of years in time scale. But if you base it on a higher voltage doing more work, that time scale shortens. And so it is the same with atoms and atomic degradation. The whole universe is actually relatively young, yet the power is dropping inversely because it is electrical. And so there's going to be a universal voltage crash. So deep time is falsified due to time actually being energy flow. Less power equals less movement. So the universe is relatively young, not billions of years. What does God's word say about this? Because God showed me all this in visions. Well, Isaiah 30:26 says, "The light of the moon will be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun will be 7 times brighter, like the light of 7 days, on the day the Lord binds up the fracture of his people and heals the bruise he has inflicted." So right now, the sun is 6 times dimmer than it used to be. And according to Revelation and universal voltage drop, it will then go out and go red for 3 days as it tries to relight as the circuit repairs itself. I don't know when, but the signs say soonish. Universal voltage drop is occurring. Power is getting trapped inside hydrocarbons because carbon loves energy and sucks it up. And so there will be a stutter in a hydrocarbon smothered generator. And so the power will cut out, and then it will come back on, and then revelation damage will occur. And so, from showing that time is actually a property of energy flow, and that less energy means slower time, more energy means faster time, the theory of evolution is also shown to be an incorrect assumption. This is the theory of evolution. There's many out there. This is one that I thought might be the right one, but evolutionists will tell me this is wrong. I'm sure they will. I don't care. Evolution. The theory of evolution by natural selection, first formulated in Darwin's book On the Origin of the Species in 1859, is the process by which organisms change over time as a result of changes in heritable physical or behavioral traits. Changes that allow an organism to better adapt to its environment will help it survive and have more offspring. Evolution by natural selection is one of the best substantiated theories in the history of science, supported by evidence from a wide variety of scientific disciplines, including paleontology, geology, genetics, and developmental biology. Okay, well, I'm going to destroy all that due to the fact that time is based upon energy flow. And another one, evolution, the process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the Earth. And the gradual development of something, especially from a simple to more complex form, which already we know is absolute rubbish because simple cells are actually more complex than the space shuttle. Now, deep time was easy to destroy based on electricity because it's basically energy powering down. So that's just the simple way of explaining how deep time is incorrect. But to show you that evolution is incorrect due to double helix energy flow, I must now explain pretty much all of double helix energy theory so that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about and where it's found, which is in everything. Okay, so this is all energy travel. Today we'll be discussing the two main ones which are found in mythology and historical carvings and a lot of mysterious things that they don't know about, and that would be this mode of travel, which is all energy travel, and this mode of travel, which is a change in the first mode of travel. Now, everything else stems from these two modes of travel, and it is two leaders, one travelling clockwise, one travelling counterclockwise, and either travelling both counterclockwise or clockwise. And those two modes of travel are the modes of travel I have shown on screen. The left-hand one, which is the picture at the bottom left, is a double helix vortex finger, and then the mode on the right shows figure 1 at the top. That is the mode of travel of that. It's upside down to the figure 1 picture, but you understand what I mean. So I've explained exactly how these two modes of travel and have drawn it and shown configuration and flow of the wave. And here now is a written explanation of double helix energy theory, so you're going to have to start using your brains. Okay, energy is electricity and electromagnetism are one. Energy and matter are separate. All energy travels in a double helix finger. All matter conforms to energy. Energy attracts matter. Matter covers energy. Energy moves matter. There are no other forces in the universe except electricity and electromagnetism. Gravity is falsified by spooky action at a distance. Spooky action is proven. All waves, gamma, X-ray, delta, whatever you want to say about any waves, are electrical, proven by electrical machines that produce these waves and can measure these waves. You can only pick up an electrical signature by an electrical machine which is based upon electricity. So all waves are electricity or electromagnetic. Gamma rays are made by lightning strikes, X-rays by machines, electricity through matter. Energy moves in two ways: a vertical vortex to a perpendicular horizontal wave, and both are double helix vortices. Both are double helix because electricity has two leaders, two horns. Lightning comes down, lightning goes up. A circuit between two voltage atmospheric levels, an exchange of energy. Energy is positive and negative, 2 liters. Positive is up clockwise, negative is down counterclockwise. Yet energy is clockwise out and energy is counterclockwise in, as shown by the spins. This is based upon an EM field that when energy comes into it, they immediately zoom towards each other, the positive and negative, and then cause a spiral of energy either up or down between electrical levels. So as you can see from the picture, energy from poles goes towards each other. One causes either a counterclockwise twist or a clockwise twist, giving you either a galaxy S clockwise or counterclockwise. One is energy up, which is clockwise, and one is energy down, which is counterclockwise. More energy causes the double helix EM field to push, causing an up or down vortex, which is proven by storms and things like that. Energy comes in, suddenly we get hurricanes. Rain clouds, lightning, energy rose from the ground as radiation heat in the matter. Radiation does not heat air as a rule unless superheated. Only objects. You can check this with a fireplace for what radiation does. Radiation rises clockwise, changes vortex levels and hits moisture. The EM field is now traveling sideways, proven by different clouds traveling in opposite rotation. On the left there, it shows vortex to wave, vortex to wave, vortex to wave, going up, left, right, left, right. So what happens is radiation hits a horizontal EM field band and performs the Lorentz effect rollover halo wave. A vortex of rising radiation becomes visible at the moisture EM field area where there is a change in electrical pressure, and it's why clouds are flat on the bottom. They have reached a level. Cloud area is the same area you would find in an atom cloud on an atom, because both are electrical, because electricity is fractal. And as you can see, I've got a picture of the bottom there showing this double helix energy theory of rising energy, which creates clouds due to the shape energy takes. It performs an Ouroboros torus sphere, which causes it to create a dome, and then one dome upon the next creates clouds. When energy hits a voltage level, it immediately loses power to that voltage level. This causes a power drain and a Fibonacci decreasing curve. Energy diminishes via the Fibonacci sequence, so it becomes 2 rotating side horns from a vertical vortex. It hits the voltage level, immediately loses energy to that level, and rolls over into a halo wave. And on the right you can see energy up, and that's how clouds form in a simplified version. Energy is kept on pushing through the middle. The 2 leaders pass through each other and rotate to opposite sides. Both mesh and become interlinking double helix waves. The energy then pushes and pulls itself up by the rotating Ouroboros as it tries to find an equal voltage level. And then I've got an example there of voltage level 1, 2, 3, 4. If the voltage starts off at 4 volts, it immediately zooms up to the 4 volt area and performs a halo wave rollover. And this is the Lorentz effect, because the rotating rings give back the energy to the main vortex. It's how clouds get larger. Same as an atom bomb, several Lorentz force rings pulling matter up by the rotation of the atom bomb rings. This is also the fountain of life from God. That's his explanation for it. Electricity pushing through, causing Lorentz rings, same as electricity in a wire. Now this is how all energy travels. We've got an above shot there, and then on the bottom right we have a profile. It zooms up through the middle in a galaxy S, hits a energy matter barrier, does a Fibonacci roll over to the side, spins out in a halo wave, comes back into the middle and turns back into a vertical vortex. And the profile piece at the bottom shows that 2 leaders go up. They are obviously both spiraling. They spin out into what looks like a T, which is a vortex and wave, and then they connect into an Ouroboros torus ring, which in itself has vortex rings. This is the same as a Thunderbolts picture, which showed a supernova in space, and suddenly it had a ring of about 15 circles around it. Well, that's how that was done, because it's energy travel. Energy travel was forced down, it split out into a halo wave, it created a vortex, which is now a standing wave with vortices in each single double helix hole, and so this is where the energy was, and that is where the vortex lit up to cause a massive supernova ring of increasing brightness energy spots, which then dimmed. So that is how energy travels. I wrote another double helix energy theory paper the other day because the other one was back from March, and there is so much to it, but I'm trying to explain it so that I don't miss anything, so nobody accuses me of missing anything, because it explains everything. So I'm going to read this one out too. It's kind of the same as the last one, but it's got a little bit more detailed information in it. So, double helix energy theory given by God of the Bible in visions in 2014 for 3 weeks. Energy and matter are separate. Energy is electricity, electromagnetism. Energy travels in pulses and interlinking itself with the previous preceding wave. Energy attracts matter, matter covers energy, energy moves matter. Matter plus energy plus electromagnetism equals life. Matter plus electricity plus electromagnetism equals life. Energy travels from a double helix vortex to a perpendicular rollover halo wave. Energy pushes positive and negative, forming a double helix vortex up or down. Energy has 2 leaders, positive and negative. Energy has 2 rotations, clockwise and counterclockwise. Both travel together as one, either clockwise or counterclockwise. Energy is actually traveling as a rolled up scroll, as seen by the configurations of travel that I just explained a few minutes ago. The vortex is the electricity. The rollover halo wave Ouroboros is electromagnetism. Both together through matter cause a cascade effect of electricity through matter causes electromagnetism. Electromagnetism through matter causes electricity, causing a Fibonacci pine cone standing wave lattice structure to form atoms and water flow and all sorts. Double helix energy flow is fractal because it is electrical, meaning all aspects of reality may be viewed at other observable levels of reality, which is what I'm showing. The universe is created from ones and zeros, a vertical vortex to a halo wave. 1 is the vortex, the 0 is the rollover halo wave, which can become a ring or a sphere. It is fractal and it is predictable. There is either something or there is nothing. It is on or it is off. It is a vortex or it is a sphere. Now, there isn't really any such thing as a sphere. You can't get a perfect sphere. What you get is an Ouroboros torus dome, which passes up through itself. And on the left there, I've got your forms of how it builds all kinds of cells. It's fractal, creates spheres on its own by throwing out a vortex to a halo wave, which interlink into hexagonal cells. Now, on a very early video, I showed smoke travel, which is all radiation travel, which is all energy travel. This is the vortex to rollover halo wave. And people might say, well, you know, it could be anything. Well, everybody believes that Tesla is one of the most brilliant scientists ever. Well, he created the Tesla fluid diode, which is flat, not round, I believe, from looking at all the copies that people have made of this. And if you will look, you will see that Tesla's fluid diode, who understood electricity and vibration and everything to do with that, and everybody looks at him like a hero, I have the same configuration of energy travel, because that's what it does. It goes up, it rotates around into an Ouroboros torus ring, which it gives the energy in rotation back into the center and causes it to go up. And you'll see a red line at the top, a red arrow that's been crossed out. That's because nothing can come back down, because everything is rotating upwards. And that's energy flow. Tesla knew the secrets to energy flow vaguely. About electricity he knew quite a bit, but he didn't understand how it worked for all of life. I've gone further than that and shown this, what Tesla knew, is in everything. So there's my smoke travel, which is all radiation travel, and that is in fact a heteromach formation, of which we see here the electric universe heteromach, a algae heteromach, and Peratt's column heteromach, which are all completely different mediums, and yet they all move in exactly the same way. So basically, this is how all energy travels. 2 leaders shoot out, spin out to the side, cross each other, and come round to the bottom front as a heart shape. And as you can see, the configuration there, you've got a galaxy spin if you get them from both sides, so you'll get a vortex up and down, or a pie shape, or any kind of configuration of a heart shape, because that's how it travels as a vortex. Here's where I showed it in the Lorentz force, and it is actually a build-up of waves in the center, which then cause an ejection of energy I also then worked it out. The Lorentz force is actually wave frequencies, which show that atomic law explanation is incorrect, and that my explanation of vortex to a rollover halo wave is actually correct. So orbital law that states the energy from orbital 1 plus the distance energy between orbital 1 and orbital 2 equals orbital 2 is incorrect, because it's the vortex from 1 to 2 and the Ouroboros torus wave, which is the complete signature. So atom law is actually the distance energy between orbital 1 and 2 plus the Ouroboros torus sphere, which is created by the distance energy between 1 and 2, which is the surface of 2. So it's nothing to do with orbital 1 at all. It's vortex to rollover halo wave, which I've shown in an atom construction video. So atomic orbital law is incorrect, but electrical atomic orbital law, which states that it's vortex to rollover halo wave, which is like a trumpet, and then the complete sphere is filled with those, and that makes the orbital skin, that shows that electrical law is actually correct. This is where I solved wave to particle duality with double helix energy theory, because it moves from a vortex to a wave and back to a vortex. So this is particle to wave to particle, because it's how energy travels. Don't worry, the falsification of evolution is coming soon. And don't misunderstand me. This isn't just in one thing. I've started making collections of mythology, atoms, heteromax, Bible explanations, botany, geology, the sun, miracles explained, universal voltage drop, the Lorentz force effect, the EM field construction, confirmed predictions of energy flow, double helix energy flow, animals, biology, debunking Einstein. I've used this same method of energy travel, one thing, and electricity and electromagnetism, to explain why it's doing it. And I've made all these collections, and unfortunately I don't get a lot of time to do it, so I could have made 1,000 more and put a double helix of energy travel in everything, because energy moves matter. Matter cannot move itself. So you would have to look through my collections. I'm not going to explain them all here, because I'd be here for 2.5 years, which is how long it's taken for me to do all this. So if you want to see 1,000 more examples of this in everything, go to my collections page on Google and on my Google page and my videos in YouTube, and you will see I explain everything from atoms to radiation travel to electrons to how trees grow to how the atmosphere has electrical levels and why clouds appear. Everything is in there. And so here, right here, is where evolution is falsified due to energy flow, because I've already proven energy and matter are separate, and I've proved it in every single medium available in the universe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove that the human body is designed to accommodate energy flow, and I'm going to do it using the lungs and the uvula and how energy enters the body, and so falsifies evolution as not being based upon time, but every single organism in the world is designed to accommodate energy intake so it may live. Understand that we intake energy, and if we don't intake energy, we die. Things with no energy are dead. That cannot be denied. So I'm going to prove it of how energy enters the body, and shows that evolution cannot happen. Okay, the uvula, a fleshy extension at the back of the soft palate that hangs above the throat, is a fleshy hanging structure in any organ of the body, particularly one at the opening of the bladder. So, I did an experiment. At the top right there we have my energy travel, which is a vortex, which is why you have a uvula. It is where energy is leaving your body, whether it be in your bladder or in your mouth. Energy is coming in as air and leaving as air, and it has to pass this particular object so that it turns into the mode of travel you see in the center with the heart shape. So I did an experiment. I filled my mouth with smoke and slowly inhaled. The smoke mass turned into 2 separate spirals as it entered my lungs, as you can see on the picture there. Left one traveling clockwise, right one traveling counterclockwise, and both of these single streams were also double helix. because that's how energy travels down to the fractal. Each one of those single smoke streamers, it also was a double helix. So it entered my body, air, I used smoke so I could see it, in two single helixes. It was separated by the uvula so that it could be recombined into a double helix so it could go down my windpipe. And then because it's a combined double helix of clockwise and counterclockwise, it can then separate again into my two separate lungs which have clockwise and counterclockwise rotations. This also happens with water and food, because basically you chew your food until it's liquid, and it is split into two streams because your gullet, throat, rotates in the same manner as that heart design. Energy spins out, comes back into the middle, so it is a rotational Ouroboros that pushes down your throat so you can force the food down. Anytime you bypass the uvula, you choke on food or water because it's not been separated and recombined. And so the uvula in the bladder confirms that it must enter and leave the body as a double helix, because this same design is in your bladder. As the water exits, it is separated into two streams, recombined in the urethra, and then ejected as a double helix. Men can see that their pee rotates depending on which hemisphere you're in, I guess. I'm in the northern hemisphere, and so my urine rotates counterclockwise in a double helix Birkeland current, and it looks like it has pinch points and all sorts. It's like a piece of paper that you twist over. So this shows the lungs and the uvula, the energy and food and water and air, because we're designed to take in energy in the form of air. We take the energy from the oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide in a double helix, because energy travels in a double helix. The lungs are rotationally designed to be clockwise and counterclockwise because energy travels. So we're breathing in energy, and so our bodies are designed to intake energy flow. Now remember, I've said that the outside ring is an Ouroboros torus sphere, which means it can look like a dome or the picture in the corner of the galaxy, but it looks like a domed galaxy when it's actually in smoke, which is all energy travel. Now these are the lungs, and I say it goes from a vertical vortex energy flow to an Ouroboros torus sphere, which is like a nuclear bomb with a great big dome and a big ring around it. So what do we find at the end of the bronchioli? We find alveoli. And what shape are they at the end of a vortex tube? They are a sphere. That's because the air goes in and then rolls over into a halo wave dome so that as much oxygen can be shifted into the body, energy flow, as is humanly possible. So the lungs are designed in a vertical vortex to perpendicular Ouroboros torus dome. Again, confirming by observational evidence of the design of the human body that it is designed to take in energy which moves in a vertical vortex to an Ouroboros torus sphere, which looks like this. Now I took this and it's in one of my posts because Blue Whirl, scientists discover new type of fire tornado. They just added more energy to make it rotate, and this is what happened to the flame. It went from a little flame in the center, produced a bigger flame, rolled over into an Ouroboros torus dome. So that's what's happening in the alveoli, except with airflow, because airflow is energy flow, and your body is designed to suck in energy because it's designed around energy, because energy was here first. So I've also shown that the vertical vortex to rollover halo wave is in everything from mushrooms, mushroom clouds, your lungs, and again I've put it all on my collections page. The bull's head Aleph of God is the vertical vortex finger, and the ram's head is the rollover halo wave, which is what God has been trying to tell us, but the translation has been lost. But this design of the rollover halo wave and Ouroboros torus dome can be seen in everything. So a quick recap on energy. I've shown what Tesla's shown. I've shown it in smoke. I've shown it's a universal shape and how it travels. I've shown it in experimentation of wave to particle duality solved. So in all of my 200 plus videos, I've shown that energy and matter are separate. So organism life growth is influenced by energy flow. all matter mimics energy flow and so is proven to be driven by energy and not time. I've also shown this in inorganic matter, from galaxies to water flow to plasma flow, steam flow, wind flow to sun flares. So, if matter is moved by energy, evolution cannot be true due to the fact that biological systems have evolved to take in energy, and energy travels in a double helix in all things organic and inorganic, and so time is not a factor and organisms live on energy. The uvula is designed to make water, air and food separate into two streams, a double helix, because the body is designed to take in energy and can only do so if it is designed around the environment. Nothing has evolved because energy does not change how it moves. And so change is dependent on energy flow and energy content, not time. And so evolution is falsified as not dependent upon increasing gene code over time by hereditary means or environmental changes. All organisms take in energy in the same way, in a double helix flow. Energy has never changed, and so animals cannot have evolved as their life systems have never undergone change because energy has always travelled in a double helix. All organisms digest energy, so change cannot happen. So you might want to say, well, how does that affect evolution? Evolution is just different energy making different changes and causing all that kind of thing. Well, no. What it proves is that I've shown that the body is based upon energy intake. So all this can do for evolution, to prove evolution was true based on energy, is that you would have to dump all your science, all of it, all your physics, everything, and take on double helix energy flow to even prove that evolution had a slight chance of happening. But you can't, because I've already said where I got this from. So let's read the conclusion. Due to the body's design, lungs, uvula and all other functions that I've shown in my collections video, evolution is a false assumption. Matter is dependent on energy, is a universal law. No energy, death occurs. And God says everything will return to dust. The flesh is useless and for the fire. The dust of sinners will be underfoot. God agrees. No energy, death occurs. So matter is dependent on energy. God is energy, as I have shown in video. He cannot be created or destroyed, in all, knows all, changes all. Evolution can only have happened dependent upon double helix energy theory. But double helix energy theory shows that matter and energy are separate. Matter is moved by energy, so matter is dependent on energy. So if matter is dependent upon energy, then it is not interchangeable. E equals mc squared is a false equation. One is dependent to be seen and observed. Matter covers energy. Energy moves through matter, causing an energy release perpendicular to the original flow. The signal thrown off is a copy of the matter vortex frequency it passes through. Your brain interprets it as a colour, shape or size. DNA is activated by electrical frequency waveforms passing through the matter, forcing movement and growth and replication until a new electrical frequency wave DNA code frequency is activated. Repeat by adding energy. Matter cannot receive more DNA instructions based upon the environment, as energy is what powers the DNA matter, and so cannot give instructions. It is powering the instructions. The electrical frequency vortex code is already installed in the matter. Energy merely inflates it. It's powering the instructions. So more instructions cannot be gained over time, as time is only influenced by energy. Energy does not write or rewrite DNA code. The code is written, and energy reads it out loud, so to speak. The reading depends upon the energy induced and how much of the code it can read and inflate and show, because the energy induced will only activate certain DNA, which is why we have all this supposed junk DNA. No, it's not junk. It's no longer activated because energy is decreasing in a universal voltage drop, which it has been from the beginning. So where does the energy come from? The energy comes from God's hand in Habakkuk 3:4 original Hebrew. He is as the light, and from his hand horns protrude, and this is the hiding of his power. And I've shown that double helix energy moves in 2 leaders, which give 2 horns, which turn into electromagnetism, which is the ram's horns. So there we go. Deep time falsified. Evolution falsified due to the fact that it is energy that powers the environment and powers the instructions, which means matter and energy are separate, which means evolution cannot have happened over millions of years because we haven't been here millions and billions of years. The power is dropping and the end is coming. The sun will go out as per biblical scripture. It will go red as per biblical scripture due to a power surge fault, and the signal will be cut off. And then 3 days later the power will come back on, just like an electrical breaker circuit, and it will turn the sun back on. And then we'll get revelation damage. And considering, we've now got Obama talking about space weather, that we need to start defending against it, shows that they understand that the end is coming. That's why they've dug into all these mountains and everything else. So yeah, that's about the conclusion of this little video. Falsified one of the biggest lies in history due to a wrong assumption based upon an environment, because they think matter moves due to E equals mc squared, which I've already shown is garbage, and Stephen Crothers has already shown is nonsense garbage. So, having proven conclusively that energy is separate from matter and that it travels in a double helix, you might think, so what, how does that affect evolution? Well, I've been shouting in the wilderness for 2.5 years about how energy travels in a double helix, and that God showed it to me in all things in visions. So either I'm from God and know everything about how life is constructed, or I'm the most brilliant scientist ever to walk this earth. Yet I have said God gave it all to me in visions. So one way or another, evolution is falsified, because energy travels in a double helix, and that is how God showed me the universe. We're almost at the end, so you should be repenting and reading what you should be doing, and know the difference between good and bad, because the Lord's coming soon, because there's always a messenger who calls on ahead, and I'm shouting as much as I can about this because I don't want anybody to die. I want you all to come to this correct knowledge and understand that God, via Habakkuk 3:4 original Hebrew, is running the universe, and he is going to come back, and he only comes back when somebody says he's going to come back. So God showed me all this to show you, in the hope that the many will be saved. Please understand and save yourself. Thanks very much. Call on Jesus and ask him to save you, and he will. My name is Lee, and I'm a Christian.